So I would say our biggest accomplishment in the last year, about a year ago, we sent out a survey to our Wildgrain members and asked them what additional communication channels they would like to have available to them. And phone and Facebook group came out as the top ones, and so we launched both in 2025. And you can really see the benefits across the board, whether CSAT, retention, when you're meeting members where they want to be met in terms of how they can get in touch with you. And especially the Facebook group has been very heartwarming because it's the first space they've ever had to communicate with each other. And just the photos that they're sharing and the way that they jump in and answer each other's questions and give each other advice without us even having to jump in. It's just amazing to see the community take life, beyond us.
So in the last year, I was able to focus on ways that we could use technology in order to improve our customers' trust and build a better relationship with them. And the main way that we did that was through implementing some AI tools. And our primary goal was to reduce friction points as well as response times without making our customers feel like they were having another transaction. So what we were most proudest of is after we were able to implement that, we saw a very drastic decrease in our customer response time. And what we were the happiest about was that our satisfaction scores actually maintained a high level. We were able to maintain the level of satisfaction that our customers are used to.
Last year, what we did was we started converting our customer support operations. Rather than a cost center, we started becoming more like a value center. So on every sales space, marketing space, we started bringing our value. And when you look at the CX space, there's so much that we can do. It wasn't just about like how many tickets we opened. It was around cost to serve. What are all the product feedbacks we were getting? What does the entire experience look like on the customer end? One of the other area that I am so proud of is we kind of digitalized our entire experience. So the deflection wasn't just about the AI chatbot. It was about the email deflection, almost like a CX ambient. And I really love this word that I read from another leader where he had posted. It's more like, how do we understand customers in a different space? How do we understand their experience in different channel? Without really focusing on serving them through sources like, hey, whether it be phone or email, or how does this experience look like? I think we really focused in those areas of kind of deflecting in different areas, connecting with business unit, how to become a value driver. I think those are the things I'm super, super proud of in the CX space, I think digitalizing just in general.
I would say my biggest accomplishment in the last year was leading a customer experience transformation at 24 Hour Home Care. This is where we were strategically outsourcing to scale our operations, and we were able to partner with Peak Support to build and scale not only our contact center, but also a specialized search team to support a new application launch. And we were able to work with Peak Support to have the flexibility to handle the rapid growth and fluctuating demand. During that time, we were able to support 29,000 caregivers during the application launch, and we saw over 94 adoption rate while working with Peak Support. And for our contact center, we were able to see over 2,100 hours returned back to the business, which was nearly 6 business days per employee. And when we started with Peak Support, we had a very high abandonment rate, and we were able to decrease that by 20%. And we had very minimal one-touch resolution. And now we are at 88% one-touch resolution rate, which is just huge for us. And by integrating Peak Support, we were able to reduce a lot of that manual effort and improve those turnaround times for a more consistent and efficient customer experience.
So this year is interesting. We have recently partnered with an AI training consultancy, and as a result of that partnership, we're able to offer not just the customer experience training and the sales training that we've done historically, but now also through that lens of maximizing AI potential as well. And the defining feature of that relationship is that this isn't an AI consultancy that's aiming to try and replace people with robots. It's very much geared around how can we empower people who are already in work to maximize AI to preserve their jobs, to make sure that they have jobs long into the future. So I'm quite excited about that and where it's going to go next.
We launched a pilot program for proactive customer styling. So we reached out to a couple different segments of customers, offering like a white glove customer experience interaction where we had the customer fill out like a short form, took like 2 or 3 minutes, tell us their product preferences. And as like an apparel company, customers are very particular about what they buy and how it's styled. So we got that information, we connected the customer with a member of our customer experience team who's very knowledgeable on product and offered like very tightly one-to-one curated like product recommendations. So not driven by AI, more so just opening up this line of communication with our CX team and giving the customer like actual gear that we use and wear every day. And off of that, like we saw strong performance, built that relationship with some of our best customers, and happy to say it was profitable.
We have a lot of great plans in the works. I plan to continue investing in AI to help remove just some of the repetitive, low-value work. But what really excites me is keeping our support operation human-led. At its core, CX is all about connection. There are moments when customers want a fast, easy answer, and AI does that really, really well. But there's also moments where people want to feel heard and valued and understood. And that human experience is becoming more and more rare, but it's still so important. So I'm really going to focus on that balance where our technology is going to support our CX team, but it's not going to replace them.
My most exciting plans for 2026. So part of what happened last year was I actually started my own company as well on the side, which could easily be like an accomplishment for last year. So I plan to spend a little more time on there. My biggest, most exciting plan is I'm actually writing a book on support. So the book is called Support is the Strategy. We've had this narrative of support being a cost center forever, like probably ever since support started 100 years ago plus. So my goal is just to share kind of my story, how I've addressed that, the roles that I've worked in, but really give people a framework for how to do that. So yeah, writing a book is really exciting. I've never done it, so hopefully I can do it this year.
One prediction that I have for CX in the coming year, now that agentic AI is developing even more and is able to handle a lot more of these lower lift questions, I'm really foreseeing that our agents will have more of an opportunity to develop and build analytical and strategic mindsets. They're going to have a lot more space to handle white glove issues, high complexity issues, and give people human care where it matters the most.
Yeah, I think in 2026, we're going to see CX move out of the nice to have space and really into operational accountability. Leaders are being asked to prove impact, not just through MPS or surveys, but really through cost efficiency, through retention, and through tangible business outcomes. I believe AI will continue to accelerate, but the companies that will win won't be the ones with the most tools. I think they'll be the ones that implement AI really thoughtfully, with a clear strategy and a very strong human layer. And in terms of staff and of our teams and the frontline teams, I believe they will also have to evolve. There's a need for them to be more analytical, more cross-functional, and more comfortable influencing decisions beyond the contact center. I think when you're able to get everybody on the CX page and understand not only what customers say, but the outcome of that, you can really drive impact across the organization.
I think that we're finally getting over that scary topic of AI where you saw all of those companies just get rid of everybody that was actually keeping their company afloat and then face the consequences and come back with their tail between their legs. And as crappy as that was, I think it needed to happen for everyone outside of our industry, because we've done this forever, but for everyone to feel the pain of what happens when you don't value the CX org within your company. And so I think that we're going to be seeing such a shift in conversation from AI is going to replace everything, which is not true, to AI as a tool. We need to level up a lot of the incredibly talented strategic individuals that are doing this hard work of CX throughout their career so that they can be managing the AI so that it is giving accurate information, that it has the QAs that it needs. It's not just turned on and forgotten, which we've all learned will never end well. So I think that predictions for CX is we are going to start to see all of this work we've been doing for a long time start to become just a normal conversation, that the value of our work will really be celebrated company-wide.
From what I've seen in the industry trend so far, a lot will be focused on using maybe chatbots. Lots of companies are basically just putting chatbots on, and they expect that to have immediate deflection. I think we need to course correct a little bit. AI is not there to just replace humans. It's there to be a sort of like an assistant, a companion that can do some of the mundane tasks so that humans can be more focused and laser oriented into the higher level problems that we want to solve. I would think that some companies will take a good approach. Let's start with, let's say, Copilot, which is the most common thing people start with. Figure out what workflows work, start solving those specific workflows. Some other companies decide to just go all out chatbot. So it's going to sort of be the AI war or AI arms race. That's going to sort of be the next step.
So to get more specific, we are utilizing an AI co-pilot within our ticketing system. And that's what we were trying to hook up. So like in the first example I gave, we are just using it as a co-pilot. We didn't want to make it customer facing until we understood the tool, but we're seeing the benefits internally, and we are able to, get more up-to-date information quickly, right? It's connected into our data sources that are updated, but we're also finding that we have to be a little more on top of our documentation. We have to vet the AI, make sure that it's providing the right information, and we have to take that into account when doing quality assurance as well. So that's how we're currently using AI in customer support. Outside of that, there's productivity tools being used such as ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude AI. People are using that to write better responses, right? We have Outlook where they summarize our emails that helps maybe solve more complex cases. With that summary feature, you can get caught up quickly. But yeah, overall, just utilizing the co-pilot functionality to provide that extra boost to our agents. And that goes into, how their jobs are changing a little bit. It's like you're getting this information, now you're the expert, and now you're still responsible for the output that is going out. But that's how we're using it, and just training the team to do that safely is the big push.
We have tried several different tools. As of now, the most successful use case for us is Fin. This is like the traditional customer-facing bot that you can imagine sitting in our product. And as of now, we just recently checked a couple of hours ago our latest scores, and we hit 74% resolution and also 74% CSAT for Fin, which is absolutely amazing. And we started from roughly about 50, just maybe like half of the year ago. So as you can see, it's like a very big jump, especially given the complexity of our product. And so when we're talking about the tips and what helped us there, the first thing is that the continuous refinement, because this technology is still not perfect, and you need to continuously adjust what is working, what is not working. Then you also need to figure out how to measure the impact, because beyond these kind of like traditional metrics like resolution or CSAT, you have the opportunity to measure, let's say, the contact rate or the ratio between the AI handled cases versus human handled cases, and these kind of metrics. I would also lean towards some custom workflows, like for instance, you can automate the refund cases or something where like there is no human art. It's basically like following the policy. And as I mentioned earlier, you do need to have standalone roles for this. And luckily, we do have quite a sizable operations team, so they definitely have the capacity to go over it. And actually, it's sort of like multiple joint effect, because we do have the program managers who are in charge of like the analysis and refinement of the workflows, but we also do have a standalone role who is centered across the knowledge specifically. So it's a really team effort to get there, to hit such high scores. And overall, I think like the overarching theme here is that we do have the goals, we do have the commitment, we do have the resources and designated OKRs to support this kind of attention.
As we all know, AI is a very hot topic. It is a trending topic. But specifically at CC Women, we use AI as a way to honor our member voices, our community voices. It actually adds a little bit of a validation layer between our member feedbacks and our final decisions. Like a good example is, I just talked about the survey that we rolled out earlier in the year, and our members were able to share their thoughts through surveys. And not only that, we also do have open conversations with our community members. So it's not just like, please fill out this survey, but we actually have conversations with our members about their thoughts, their inputs, their feedbacks. And we use all of that data, all that information to shape our products, our benefits, and our event agendas. And before we finalize anything, we use AI to ensure that we're actually building what reflects the data. So it's not just, okay, she said this, she wants this, let's just do that. But we're really trying to ensure that what we're building reflects the data so that our members' voices are truly driving all of our decisions. And we're not just doing things because it's the next best thing or, you know, what's buzzy and what's like fun out there. And then we also manually review AI's output against our members' actual feedback to make sure that nothing gets lost in translation, and we adjust when something doesn't feel right. So we leverage AI as just like a fact checking, like, are we doing the right thing? Are we headed in the right direction? Are we actually reflecting what the data tells us, what our members are sharing with us? So at CC Women, you know, AI very much guides and supports our work, but our team still owns every complex and high value interactions personally, because we know that those white glove experiences and that human touch really, really matters, especially when we have such a close-knit community members who are there to build relationships and network with one another.
First, understand the business, not just customer experience. If you don't understand how the company makes money, it's very difficult to make strong decisions. So that would be the first. Second, you can guess it, focus on people, not just process. You can build the perfect system. This is really from my experience. You can build a perfect system, but if your team is not motivated or doesn't believe in what they are doing, it won't work. Maybe the last advice, and I personally, this is the advice that I always use, don't wait until you feel ready. Most things you can only learn once you are already into the situation. We all love to be ready and then to start something, but please don't wait. Like I said, you will really learn only once you are in the process.
do it all. It's like that is the best advice that I can give. I found that curiosity is the most undervalued trait in support, especially in the leadership. A lot of new and burgeoning support leaders, I think that's the right word, burgeoning, but like new leaders in support, you learn what metrics to evaluate, you learn like basic structure of a team, you learn how to coach, you learn how to deliver on success metrics and things of that sort. But as you grow as a leader in support, you start to open up your doors to all of these different areas of the organization to learn, oh, how's a product team structured? How do they make decisions? How do they prioritize work? Or you learn about like overarching finances in a company and how the support work hits in a P&L and what's important to your company in how the P&L works and what piece of support fits into that picture. I think those are just kind of two examples, but because customer support is now becoming, and even more so, a really integral part of every team and company that I see, because they're realizing we're the data warehouse of the experience. So like with AI, if they start plugging into support, they're starting to plug into all that data, the experience for like customer success, journey mapping, and things of that sort. So your doors are open two ways, and curiosity will help you grow in your career and become an asset to your partners, because they'll see that you're interested in learning their business and being collaborative with their part of the business, and they in turn will give that support to you and your team, and it'll create a stronger relationship and network with you within your own organization. And then those doors help you open other places throughout your career, and help you increase your network to get different ways to problem solve, different ways to either like grow in your professional career through different roles and areas, or just sounding boards for other leaders that are not directly in your network or in your role that will help you problem solve differently, which is such a valuable asset to have collaborative partners in your network.
Yeah. When I was 22, I would get really frustrated by things, and one of my mentors just kept saying, remain curious, and that has been my motto then throughout my working life. I think if something's frustrating you, try to understand why, what's happening, what's going on, what can you do to mitigate that frustration. If a customer is coming to you and like with a lot of anger, try to understand what's driving that. If you feel like it's really hard to like cut through the noise and be heard, try to build a system and process that will fix that. So just remaining curious is going to help you not be frustrated and turn that into like action-based solutions instead.
Yeah, a lot of people right now think that tech careers are dead. I don't know that I believe that. You know, everything kind of has its like, as the world turns and it'll come back. But I think they need to invest in their technical fluency and really expand and bridge gaps within that, right? Identify your weaknesses, identify what you don't know, and really improve on that. The support role, the CX role, is evolving from managing just interactions to designing systems, right? So we want to be able to deliver the right information, and leaders who understand how to combine product design, AI, and the customer experience are going to win that race.
I will credit Forma for that. I feel like they've done really well. They definitely lean on support and come to support for all the questions. A lot of people think of support as a cost center, and it's not like that here, which is phenomenal and really great for our morale on our side. But definitely ROI isn't just money. I think it's also product and sales and success, like really leaning into us and be like, how can we help you? And just make sure that you help those other teams. And that would be your biggest ROI, and not just in terms of money, but in terms of your knowledge about everything. So
So I'm very excited that I think because of AI now CX can be in the driver's seat and not in the passenger seat. So what I mean by this is that we all know that even up to today, a lot of businesses still treat CX as a cost center only, but it's actually the biggest revenue driver of any organization. Whether you do humans or AI or humans plus AI or just one or the other, it is the most important department of any business, period, in my opinion. It's the foundation. And I think because of AI, now you have the ability to prove much easier the work and the effort and the results that CX is driving. So I was talking about, our insights product, which is called basically CNI intelligence. So how our brands are using it, they can literally create executive reports or maybe reports that your CFO might care about. So they give you a budget for next year to invest more in CX, or at least the same that you've invested so far, because you can ask directly, how much revenue has every single maybe individual from our customer experience team has been driving, or how much revenue did this channel versus this channel has been driving for us. You can look at, obviously CSAT scores, all of these metrics that are very important, or proof that, hey, we have uncovered these incredible insights of what our customers are saying about specific products or the service or whatever, the business in general, or we've done this competitive intelligence analysis and we bring it to the broader team, and we can prove how much spending time with customers, whether it's through automation or through human to human, you can directly prove that you have these valuable insights from your customers. You can send it to the right stakeholder in the company, and same, you can prove how much revenue the organization has been driving. So the conversation, you are positioned differently, in these conversations as the CX manager or leader. And I think that's what I would encourage everyone to do, just tap into these tools that allow you to surface these insights way faster and put them in front of the right stakeholder in your company as often as possible.
I am biased, but I genuinely believe that CS is the heartbeat of an organization. You got to think about all of us. We are all consumers. I don't care how amazing a vehicle looks. If I get horrible customer service, I'm returning that vehicle. And the same when you go to a restaurant. You're not going to go to a restaurant just because it has amazing ratings. If you get in there and the service is trash and it does not look appeasing or clean, you're going to turn away from that. And I think the reality, as I reflect on the question that you asked me, is that I think there's a lot of interconnectedness when it comes to customer service. And I know for one, when I think about the organizations that I've worked for, I've only worked for Fortune 100 and 500 companies. Many of them focus on sales, right? And given the fact that I have a sales background, I can look at it from the perspective of, okay, you have this quota and this target, but is your sales team really focused on selling, or are they doing customer service work, right? And what's the opportunity cost there if you're keeping that work there? I think also what's going to be important is speaking the leader's language. And I think that's a miss for customer service, because we look at a lot of different metrics and we try to keep everything at a certain budget or a certain level, right? We don't want to go over this budget because we're a cost center, not a profit center. But if we can speak the language of leadership in regards to how we contribute to the bottom line, I think that we will be more effective. There has to be this interconnectivity. And I know for me, when I came into this space, I was running for president. I was campaigning and kissing babies and trying to get buy-in from people across the organization, from sales to marketing to finance, and leadership across, because you can't do your job. You can have the best product in the world, you can have the best sales team, but if there's no one there to process the order and make the customer feel good about the purchase that they have and continue to support them throughout, what's the point of it? So I think it is a very critical role that is often understated until something breaks or something messes up. But there's a lot of invisible work that customer service does. And I think that being able to articulate it in a quantifiable value, the impact that it has on the business and the bottom line will be the key differentiator for many organizations.
Yeah, so I mentioned this before, but I think I didn't mention explicitly that, you know, with a nonprofit, we're like a mission-driven organization. So we have very explicit values that drive our work. And the number one value is recipients first. And the number two value is what we refer to as team next. So, you know, we're putting the recipient at the forefront of everything that we do, because we're in service to people, you know. But we also want to support our team and to support each other. And you know, I think one thing that companies can do to improve the overall quality of the customer experience is improve the experience for their employees as well, and make sure that the employees feel supported with each other, and you know, are in a place where they can be able to effectively help the person on the other end of the line. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship.
So for me, I think one thing that companies can do is invest in their customer experience teams. I think a lot of companies look at customer experience, customer care as a cost. And it's all right, like, how can I reduce this cost? I just need this team because it's part of doing business. I need someone to pick up the phone. I need someone to respond to emails. I have no choice, right? But when you look at CX as a differentiator instead of a cost, and you make those timely investments, and you have a leader in place that could actually show ROI and build ROI models and deliver on those models, then CX can unlock untapped growth, right? Whether it be from a retention perspective, an increase in AOV, whatever it may be, right? CX is a differentiator if you allow it to be a differentiator. It will be a cost center if you manage it like a cost center, right? So for me, I think the one thing that companies can do is truly invest in this concentration in order to unlock all the untapped benefits.
I think that goes back to, again, being data-driven and looking at retention post-support interaction. So if your users are churning after reaching out about support topic XYZ, it's safe to say that XYZ needs to be fixed. And I think that is an easy thing that orgs can use CX for. It's like it's almost like a constant NPS survey that you're constantly dumping into your data lake. And that's helped us out a lot. We're able to, you know, join our flywheel meetings or join our overall extended management or SLT meetings and say, like, look, this is what, you know, users are reaching out about. Let's fix this. And then the product teams or the engineering teams can prioritize that on their roadmaps. That's been a huge role that support plays, because we want to help users, we want to help our loyal customers, but we also want to drive insights that make our overall service or product better. And you can really do that by, you know, making sure that you connect your data, your support data, with overall org data, and it's a huge unlock. So I really can't tote that enough. It's very important to stay data driven.
I'm going to say remembering the basics. And I know this is something that I brought up in the previous question, but one of the main tools that I use for training is actually a book called The Customer Rules. I actually have it in front of me right here. But he has a chapter that's just so, it just simplifies the customer experience in such a good way. It's called Don't Get Bored with the Basics. But he simplifies it into 5 ways: cleanliness, appearance, communication, thoughtfulness, and knowledge. And I think just remembering those tenets is, and as you approach every customer experience, is so important, because, you know, if you're constantly thinking of ways to present yourself professionally and just represent your company in a way that, you know, really conveys your values and your mission, being knowledgeable about your processes, being knowledgeable about your products, and being thoughtful, empathetic, just listening to people, being an active listener. Those are always going to be relevant no matter what you do. And the flashiness is great, and it really does help in some ways, but if you're forgetting those basics, then you're pretty much missing the whole point. So I think that that's always important to think about.